Have you ever seen two animals live side by side, even working together despite their major differences? Surely you have heard of them. Some of the famous examples include such as buffaloes and birds, Nemo fish and anemones, bees and flowers, and so many more. It isn't uncommon to find an organism living along or even working together with other species organisms. In fact, these occurrences happen on a daily basis. These occurrences are what you would call symbiosis. These phenomena, according to Heinrich and Tendebari, is defined as the living together of unlike organisms. From Heinrich's definition of symbiosis, we can kind of assume what symbiosis is in our terms. So it's somewhat like the coexistence or the cooperation of two organisms that differ from one another. That although most symbiotic relationships that happen tend to benefit one or the other, there are also various instances where other outcomes might happen. Because of that, we must take a look at the many types of symbiotic relationships that exist in nature. But we are mainly going to be diving into the three main types, which are mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism. Mutualism is a type of symbiosis in which both organisms benefit from each other. Some famous examples of this type of symbiosis include the starlings and buffaloes, in which the starlings help buffaloes get rid of parasitic organisms such as ticks, mosquitoes, and many others by eating them. And by doing so, the buffalo is free from parasitic organisms and the bird can eat. Hummingbirds or bees with flowers, a relationship in which the flying organisms can consume food and in turn they act as pollinators for the flowers. Anemones and Nemo fish, in which the anemones provide protection for the Nemo fish because the Nemo fish have a layer of mucus that protects them from the anemone's sting, and the Nemo fish can attract smaller animals to get preyed upon by the anemones. Commensalism is a type of symbiosis in which only one species benefit from the other. This means that while one organism gets the benefit, the other organism isn't affected by the existence of this other organism. Examples of this type of symbiotic relationship include remoras and sharks, in which remora fish swim along sharks to avoid predation, or spiders with plants, in which spiders construct their webs on plant parts. The last but not the least is parasitism. It is a type of symbiosis in which one organism is benefited, but in turn, it harms the other organism. Some famous examples of this type of symbiosis include parasites that live in other animals' gut systems, such as roundworms, and ticks that live on animals and feed off of their blood, leaving rashes that can cause irritation and itchiness. Although there are still many types of symbiosis that we had not explored yet, the exploration that we had just done already gave an insight to us about how important this process is in nature. It teaches us that an organism cannot simply live by itself, but requires the existence of other organisms to survive.